2, 1. Hello. Welcome to the 42nd episode of And the Tournament Winner Was, a conversation with the tournament prize winner from the past week. I'm your host, John Gaspar. My guest this week is Marc Racenstein. Marc is a Brooklyn-based handicapper that's been to the NHC on 5 different occasions. Marc, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
So how long have you been betting on the horses?
Got to say 41 years.
Perfect. And how far into that did you find tournament play or contest play?
About 15 years ago.
And did you find it through the DRF or one of the online sites, or how'd you get involved in that?
I believe Monmouth was the first one that I discovered.
Cool. And did you go to Monmouth, or could you play it online at that point?
No, at that time, me and my buddy used to go down to Monmouth, and I think it was in the winter, so they didn't have live racing.
Okay.
And we played and we didn't read the rules and we screwed up and we had winners, but we didn't know at the end we could bet the whole bankroll. So we were still betting the minimum when we could have went all in and we could have won the tournament.
Yeah, that's definitely one of those things that when you first start and you see that you have to make 10 bets of $15 each and you think that's all you can do. And you just make the 10 bets at 15 and not realize other people are betting a lot more.
Yep. We learned the hard way.
Yes. So are you a regular contest player on NYRA Bets or any other of the online sites?
Usually I play online, usually in those pick and praise where you make your picks and then you could go about your business.
Yeah. On horse tourneys, horse players, a little bit of each?
Yeah. All of those.
Now, do you have any general goals when you start in a tournament, meaning you're playing to get into the BCBC or playing to get into the NHC, or you just play for cash mostly?
No, I want to win the bigger entry into the tournaments. I want to pay as little as I can, get the biggest prize, and take it from there.
Awesome. So Marc finished first in this past week's NYRA Bets Saratoga tournament with an incredible 80 times his starting bankroll. So NYRA Bets seeded the tournament this year with a BCBC seat, and Marc bested 244 entries en route to his victory. So what tools do you use to handicap, Marc, like a DRF or other outside tools?
I use DRF. I use Thorograph. And I'm also a physicality handicapper that I've been doing pretty well with for 25 years. So, I like to see the horses, how they warm up, how their legs look.
Okay.
So that's what I like to use.
Now, that certainly helps in the live contest like this weekend, but do you have to wing it a little bit on the pick and praise when you're playing the $2 pick and praise, so you kind of lose out on that physicality a little bit?
Yeah, that sort of like takes away my strength, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
But in a way, I like the pick and praise because I can do less damage to myself. I don't know about everybody else, but I would say anytime I change my mind on a pick, I lose 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah, we definitely seem to have a confirmation bias. We remember all those losers when we switch, and we never remember the winners.
That's true.
Do you use any angles out of the DRF, like whatever, maiden special weight droppers to maiden claiming or trainer specialties or anything like that? Or are you just more the form and the thoroughgraphs?
I have certain standards, like I don't like betting horses off long layoffs. Certainly not lesser trainers, maybe some of the great trainers I'll consider, but I'm not betting anybody off of a long layoff. There's no, that it takes 2 or 3 races to get to your best.
Awesome. And so you also won a $12 horse tourneys pick and pray this weekend on Saturday. Do you have a preference in the tournament style? Meaning, do you prefer the pick and pray or do you prefer the live bank because you can use your physicality?
Well, here's the deal. Like I just said, I like pick and pray because I can't screw it up by changing my mind.
Right.
But I like the live tourney, the live money tournaments, because I think there's more potential there. You could really bang them out. So I had already won a Breeders' Cup entry for this year, and I was playing for my second this week.
Awesome.
So I wanted to have two. When
did you win your first one?
A couple of weweeks ago.
Awesome. Also online somewhere on horse tourneys or one of the live money tournaments?
I don't remember. I don't remember. It was
That's okay.
definitely it was one of the websites. Not just to add to you, you said I won on horse tourneys. Also this week I won on Twin Spires too.
I didn't
So
know that. I haven't looked at the Twin Spires site.
yeah. So I turned $60 into a bunch on
That's
that
good.
site.
That is a good return when you, like you said earlier, you get in for a little and you try to win a lot, right? That's kind of the idea.
That's that. I figure I'm playing with other people's money.
Yeah,
That's the way
one of
that's
my
how
friends.
I look at it.
Yeah, one of my friends had used the expression that he bets a pickle to win a deli.
Okay.
I like that expression.
Gotcha.
So the NYRA Bets Saratoga Challenge was held on Saturday, July 4th. The tournament was a $300 buy-in event. 200 went to your bankroll, 100 went to the prize pool. You could play win, play, show, exacta, and daily double wagers. You had to wager at least your bankroll overall. The tournament included the full 11 race card from Saratoga, and they gave away one BCBC seat and cash prizes to the top four. How many entries did you play, Mark?
I played one.
Awesome. And do you approach like the live money tournaments the same way you approach just regular betting at the windows, or do you have a different strategy in a tournament than just regular betting?
I just play what I play, live betting. I'm just duplicating it, but in a tournament.
Okay, that's good. I mean, some people have a different strategy. Like normally, if you tend to like long shots, they don't necessarily bet them in the tournament because they don't think they win often enough. So they lean towards favorites or shorter priced horses. So that's how some people do it.
I'm usually not betting favorites or anything close to a favorite. I'm looking for value. I'm looking for a mid-priced horse. Long shots too. I mean, yeah, I've had a bad experience betting favorites. Not on the win end, but like on the back end when you're alive for a double. I could hex any favorite out of winning. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I tell my friends if they want to fade a favorite, just have me bet $2 to win on it.
Unbelievable. I hate the favorites.
Do you have any bankroll goals when you start a tournament? Do you try to get to 10x or 12x, or are you just going to bet what you like and you end up where you end up?
I'm winging it.
Okay.
That's what I did this weekend. I just winged it.
Perfect. What do you think your edge is? You talked about the physicality, or is it handicapping, or your betting, or your aggression, or you just, if it's your day, it's your day?
Well, I have to bet because I have to overcome being jinxed and hexed.
Okay.
Somebody put a voodoo curse on me a long time ago. I don't know why, but what has happened in my career in tournaments is I usually finish second a lot with my main picks. And then online, when you bet the backup pick in case you get scratched, I always love to see those horses win and then I get frustrated. So I changed my style on how to bet it, and that's why I want to do live tournaments now.
Okay.
Is because now you can bet more than one horse. Who would have thought?
Exactly.
So I had a mythical conversation with my friend Joe Mack, who's a New York sports legend here, and he bets horses, but he also bets football. And he always looks at me and he says, "You got to bet this, you got to bet that." So what I have done recently is I started betting 2 horses a race. So okay. So if I bet doubles, I'll go 2 times 2, and then I'll roll it 2 times 2. Then I'll roll it again 2 times 2. That's exactly how I won this tournament. Is I just kept rolling doubles, two horses to 2 horses to 2 horses to 2 horses. So basically, I made it my own pick 3, pick 4, pick 5. And,
I think that's great.
And it worked. It worked to the surprise, to the amazement of the universe. It worked.
So when did you start those rolling doubles on Saturday? Did you have a specific race you wanted to start in, or do you start from the first race in the card that you like and just keep on going?
Well, basically, I have had 0 success in live money tournaments up until that day. I always tap out before, trying to meet the requirements before you could, basically get let loose and go nuts and bet everything. Right. So I've never had success. And I hit a few conservative doubles early that gave me a bankroll. And then when the stakes races came, I think it was what was it? The O'Brien horse, I think, was the first race in the stakes races.
Yeah, the Kensington Lane.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He was like double his price in the morning line, and that's when I started the fun. The party started.
Right.
I bet win. I bet a monster place bet. I bet doubles into the next race, and then I hit that, and then I hit. So I think that the next race was the Suburban, maybe, and that horse was an overlay, and then I hit the next race, and then the next race.
Yeah, so that is clearly a nice run, right? So you get a 23-1 shot in Kensington Lane.
Yes.
Then you get Phileas Fogg in the Suburban at 8-1.
Yep.
I don't have the results chart in front of me, but that clearly was a nice double that moved you up to probably a 4-figure score at that point. And then
here's the thing: I don't look at the scoreboard. I don't look at any of that. Never.
Okay.
Ever. I don't want to know. I just want to play my plays, and if they're good enough, they're good enough. You know.
You're not afraid, like getting towards the end of a tournament, that you may have overbet or you had the lead and you don't want to bet too much?
Well, I do have an addendum. With 2 races left, I looked at the scoreboard after I hit a race, and I think, and it said I went down 6 spots from 1st to 6th, and I was like, wow, these guys hit the same horse. They bet more, or they hit a trifecta. So with 2 races left, I says, okay, I'm already alive in the double. So I think I banged out another. Exactor, a cold exactor, and then I was alive to the last race.
Yep.
And I got fortunate. I think I got put up after that long inquiry.
Yeah. So
I mean, that never happens to me. Never. I usually get taken down.
That's a good way of thinking about it. So you had actually a lead going into the lost race, right? You had, I don't know, like 7,800 or 7,900 going into the lost race.
Yeah.
And then you ended up betting on the one horse. Do you remember how you bet that one horse in the lost race?
No, I didn't bet him. I didn't bet him. I was already alive in the double to him. Huge.
Ah, okay. Well, that's
right. So I didn't bet on the last race. I just sat back and I said, let's see what happens. If they catch me, they catch me. There's nothing I could do.
And what kind of numbers are you betting when you have a lead like that? When you say you had 8,000 in your bankroll, right? And you're betting that late double. Are you betting a couple $100 double, or are you just nibbling a little bit?
No, I wasn't nibbling. I was sending it in. I was afraid they were going to, before, the late double. So it was the second to last race.
Yep.
I said to myself, I looked at the math. I said, I got to be alive into the last race. So I sent it in, because if you look at it, I went from, what did I go from, like $7,000 or $8,000 to 16. So
exactly. Yeah.
I must have bet a lot. I don't know what I bet. I lost track. But I could tell you something. I've been watching poker on TV, since the boom, like 25 years ago.
Sure.
And I learned, when you don't have money and you don't have the chips, you got nothing. So I always dreamt of this situation where, okay, I have the money, I have the chips. Now I could push people around. Now I could play my game. And like I said, I did not have any success doing live tournaments until that day. So what I did is, I wasn't playing around. I basically said, I'm going to blast it. You guys got to come and get me. I'm going to blast. I'm going to send it in. And if you guys beat me, you beat me. But I already had enough money where I was like, I was content. I already had a BCBC entry. So if I didn't win that, I was content. And if they wanted to chase, the BCBC entry. But also, what I learned a lot about from poker was about, the implied odds. So, like, by that time, I was looking at my bankroll, and then I says, oh, I have a shot to get not only the bank, keep my bankroll, but also get the first prize money, and then get the $10,000 BCBC entry. So I said, I got to play to win this. So that's what I did the race before the last race, and I sent it in, and I hit it.
Yeah,
with a little luck, maybe a lot of luck.
Yeah, it's funny because the second to last race was won by a long shot, that Warp 9, who figured on Thorograph. I know you had him on your online contests. So he had to be your key. It looks like you had $100 double into the lost race, into that one, because the double paid $74. So that's an additional $7,400 to your bankroll at $100.
I guess that's how I did it. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And yeah,
And
and I go ahead.
that horse scratched out of Aqueduct closing week for this spot. So I was
Okay.
even more. So I was like, okay, they scratched out of Aqueduct to go to Saratoga. They know, they knew they were sitting on a big one, and I looked at the numbers, and that horse was rotating. Good performance, bad performance, good performance. So he had last run a very good number, his high number. So I was just praying that the horse wasn't going to run a stinker, and he ran good. And then I also blasted out an exactor on that. So I hit the exacta pretty big in that race.
Yeah, and that exacta with the favorite was underneath full screen. That exacta paid 66.98 for $1.
Yep.
So
I blasted it.
Yeah, that got you to the lead to start, and then you have the live double into the lost. Who did you have other than Morning Prayer? Did you have a second horse in the lost race that you were live to?
I did. I did. I don't remember who it was, but it was the horse that finished fourth. The horse that finished fourth. I think my horse whipped the other horse in the face.
All right. Yeah, that was that Zap the Ghost, who was the 8 horse.
Yes, that is correct. I had Zap the Ghost. The Ghost.
Did you watch the race live? So did you see the DQ, or did you notice it after the fact?
I saw the race. I said, okay, I lost. No big deal. I'm still going to, collect money or whatever. And then they did the DQ, and then I listened to the MIG say that he didn't think it should be a DQ. So I don't get emotional when I get those kind of losses or those kind of beats or even wins. I get mad at myself when I make a mistake. Like,
sure,
why didn't I bet? Why didn't I bet my second pick, or why didn't I put more money on it? I always say I leave a lot of money on the table, and I do. I think almost everybody probably does.
Yep.
You're alive for a lot of money, and you screwed it up. You didn't add that extra horse in the pick 5 or the pick 4. I do it all the time, but like I said, I had that imaginary conversation with my friend, so I'm starting to spread it out more. And it's been saving me over the last couple of months.
I think that's great. Yeah, I can't get upset at DQs. I do feel like I get put up as much as I get taken down, and it's completely out of your control. You can't get angry at something that you didn't do, right?
Well, I've learned that. I'm almost 60 years old. I've learned you can only control what you can control. You can't control what's out of your control. So 1,000-pound animal running around the track with 100-pound jockey, I mean, you can't control that. I can only do what I can do. So
right.
that's the way I live my life now. It took me, almost 60 years to figure it out. It took a long time. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say we're slow learners. I'm roughly the same age. I consider that too. I'm just a slow learner.
No. I have severe brain damage from like 27 undisclosed concussions since I was a kid. Running into things, playing sports. It's ridiculous.
So now, will you go to Keeneland, or will you plan on playing the Breeders' Cup from home?
How about I didn't even know it was a Keeneland until you just told me. I thought it was a Del Mar. I thought it was a Del Mar.
Yeah, no, it is at Keeneland this year, and then it's into your home track on next year to Belmont Park.
I'll have to go to that. I'll have to win an entry and go to that. That's for sure. But no, I'm not. I'm probably not going to go to Keeneland. I probably won't.
Okay.
I've been to Santa Anita when they had it for the I won that I won a tournament to get there, and that was a good experience. But it was a lot of travel, a lot of things you had to deal with, and then they had like in the New York area they had satellite tournaments. So I did it from Belmont Park. Yep. 1 year too, and that was great. So I think I'll either play online or I'll play close to home, so I don't have to worry about a flight and travel and all that stuff. Maybe take an extra day or two off at work. I don't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just put in last week for Friday, the Breeders' Cup now, so I have it off. So I just wanted to make sure that's set, and I might play it online if there's a satellite over at I know Monmouth had it last year, so maybe I'll go to Monmouth. Or if Belmont has it, I'll go to Belmont. I live a few minutes from Belmont, not too far.
Well, that's great. I mean, in playing from home gives you the advantage of just being relaxed, right? There's no distractions. You're just trying to play what you play, and you can
Exactly.
focus on the horses on the track and do what you want to do.
Well, I've done it a few times on Express Bet, and it is pretty good. You can get up, go get food, go to the bathroom. No one's bothering you. You could, in between races, you could flip the channel. You stay very relaxed. So I haven't had success, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Excellent. I mean, you had success this weekend. You played horses that you liked. You didn't back off when you had some bankroll. You used it as leverage, like you did with the poker analogy, and it paid off quite well for you.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not going to say that I knew this day was coming, that I was going to have a big one. I would tell my friend Joe Mack, I'd say, I'm going to win one of these days, the big ones. And because I knew I know I had to have the stars aligned.
Sure.
And, I saw the number, I saw I'm giving Thoroughgraph a big push. I saw their numbers on the horses that I bet, and they made sense. And the thing that was key was they were back to back to back to back. So sometimes, you know what I do? I'll hit the first race, then I'll hit the fifth race, then I'll hit the ninth race, and I don't get the pick threes and the pick fours or the doubles even, So I just get the singletary, just the single races. So today, that day, it was aligned perfectly for me.
Yeah, and I should have asked earlier, when you handicap the card and you're thinking about betting, do you go from race 1 to race 11, or do you say my best bet's race 5? I'm going to make sure I get to race 5 with a bankroll and then start my doubles and so forth.
I'm still learning on the live money tournaments. Basically, what I do is I come out and I try to hit the first few races so I can have a bankroll. If you don't have if you don't have a bankroll, there's no shot for you winning. I know some people, maybe they play it safe or they don't even play the earlier races, but look at like whatever you said the math was that I did to my bankroll. That's what you're capable of. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, maybe I'm giving out the secret, but if like in poker, if you have the chips, you could muscle people out of pots. You could do what you want. That's the way I feel, and I've always felt about live money tournaments. You got to build your bankroll early so you could then, really send it in late. And the thing is, if you build up your bankroll and you send it in late, all you need is one good hit. That's all you need.
No, I agree. There's a couple of really good contest players out there now, like Matt Miller and Darren Schweiger and Tony Zhou, that's what they do. They go all in early to get a number and get a bankroll, and then they go all in late or bet their biggest opinions late to try to win the tournament. And they make it a little bit simple that way.
Well, first out, I got to give a shout out to Matt Miller because he put out a tweet on X about me. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So maybe you guys could check it out. I do know their secret though. These players that you mentioned, I did overhear them talking. Sometimes they go in with 2 or 3 entries,
Sure.
and what they do is they go all in on the first race. I heard one of them tell his partner. They said, "Yeah, if we hit this race, we got the tournament locked up after the first race." So they're betting their entire bankroll on the first race.
Yeah, absolutely. They do that a lot. You'll see it on the Twin Spires tournaments that you play, that they're almost always all in. They're betting 2 different horses in race 1 or race 2 or a very large double because they want to leverage that money that they get early to be able to bet the races late and control the tournament from the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, that's exactly how I tried to play it, and it worked out. I mean, I've been at when I did go to the Breeders' Cup tournament, I heard people who had like 17,000 and they were in the top 10 and they thought they were going to win the tournament. And I said to him, I says, you guys, if you're not betting the money, you have no shot. Correct. I said to him, because I've been playing the Monmouth tournament and I saw how Monmouth has a great tournament system where you can basically play every month. And I've been playing that for almost 20 years now. And I see how they play it. It's like, they people nibble, and then they go all in on the last race. So I know what the top score is going to be. So like I told the person, I says, just 17,000 is not worth it. You got nothing if you're going to sit. There's no reason.
Yeah, the numbers that matter, and especially in the Breeders' Cup, if you get 70 or 80, then I mean, the winning skill is still going to be 100, but you don't necessarily have to bet 70 or 80 to get to your 100 or 120. If you got 20 or 15, you've got to bet it all because you have absolutely no chance.
When I was there at Santa Anita, a guy came flying by me, jumping in the air because he knew he won the tournament. It was the Ian Wilkes horse to Mucho Macho Man, and
Okay.
he bet his whole bankroll on a cold exacta, and so like he knew he knew he couldn't be touched. So I remember that. I learned. That's one thing I do. I learn my lessons well. I've seen how people attack it. I listen overhear what they say. I'm not spying. I'm not a spy, but I learn my lessons well. So, now that I have 2 entries on the Breeders' Cup, who knows? Maybe I will go all in on one of the first races.
Perfect. Exactly. You'll
By the way, listen to this one. You're not going to believe about rules and everything. When I was at the Breeders' Cup in Santa Anita, I didn't know that the tournament started on the undercard. I thought it was only the Breeders' Cup. So you gotta read the rules. You have to read the rules over. You got to bring an attorney. You have to bring an attorney to read it to you.
Exactly. That is the rules to live by right there. You need to know exactly how everybody else is playing so you can play properly.
Unbelievable. Because I said to somebody, why are they cheering? It goes, the tournament started and someone hit into cold exactor, and I'm like, what? The tournament started? It's the undercard. So yeah, I learned my lesson. You got to learn your lessons.
That's great. Well, congratulations, Mark. And I really want to thank you for spending some time with me to discuss your strategies and your successes.
Well, thank you for asking. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. Be good.